he is dragged away. So it's supposed to be like placing more importance on a gun than a black man's body or like black people. First heavy hit. Like, I'm not gonna hit on everything. I'm just gonna hit on the stuff that like really stood out to me. Obviously when he comes in and guns down the choir, it's a direct nod at the, what was it, Charleston massacre, Dylan Roof. Yeah. And you already hit on the pale horse and the one, what?
Did you? No, go ahead.
The one that I found the most interesting was at the very end when he stops dancing and there's nothing really going on in the background anymore and he lights a joint. As soon as he stops participating in pop culture and like being the norm and just like does something on his own, that's when he starts getting chased by the police. Like the whole time there was no police bothering him when he was doing his dance moves and like, but as soon as he starts smoking a joint, he gets villainized.
Yes. That shot of him running from the police in the dark tunnel with just the whites of his eyes and his teeth showing was spooky, but it was really cool.
So impactful. Just the whole thing is like very impactful. And like I said, like, say what you will if you don't love this sort of stuff, but the song's still good.
The song's good, and in the video is very thought-provoking.
Very. And I think I want to say that the director of I don't know who like wrote or came up with the idea of it, but the director is actually Asian American. Asian American.
I don't know either. Did you notice in one of the scenes? I didn't notice. I read this in an article, but in one of the scenes where I think it's in the foreground is him and a group of the school kids dancing. In the back, a man jumps from the balcony to his death.
Yes, yeah. So is that supposed to be like a nod to like,
I think mental health and suicide
awareness and all of that? Yeah, definitely mental health. There's also like a bunch of artists in it. If you look it up, there's like 5 or 6 different artists that have like or featured.
Cameo?
Yeah, no, they're not in the video. I think there's only one that's in the video. It's SZA.
SZA, yeah. I think that's what you say.
She's in it.
I did see her.
But there's a bunch of other different artists that are like doing vocals.
For
it. I didn't know this one. The use of old cars, like when in the last scene when they're panning out, it says, as Forbes explains, the luxury cars we are used to seeing in rap videos are strategically replaced with makes and models from the 1980s and 90s. Nothing is modern or new in the same way that this brutality is not a new concept. Like, so deep. I would never even notice that.
See, I noticed that. Well, I read in another article that the reason the luxury cars were replaced was just because it wasn't an inaccurate representation of America today, because that's not representative of most of the population. The luxury cars. That amount of wealth is not representative, but the older cars are, so.
Symbolism really confuses me. I was never good at English in high school. Like, I think one time we were talking about The Great Gatsby or something, and my English teacher was like, what do you think the green light represents? And I'm like, okay, so this is, you know what green light I'm talking about? Yes. That's across the dock. I'm thinking, like, this is relative. Like, you would take your interpretation of it. So I raised my hand, and I was like, I think... So, yeah, she asked what we thought the symbolism of the green light was, and I raised my hand, and the thing you would most likely relate the color green to is jealousy or greed. And I was like, all right, so Gatsby's jealous of, like, her and her being with him, and so that's why he sees green. And she just goes, that's wrong.
Who is your English teacher? Okay.
Stover. She hated me. I was not good in English class. Like, I got an okay grade, but, like...
Well, at least you participated. That's worth something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, at least be like, that would make sense that you would assume that, because green is often, like, associated with jealousy and greed. But no, I can't remember what it actually said. Do you remember what it actually symbolized? Hope? I think it was hope. Which, like, I would think, like, white light would be hope.
I just remember there were colors, all different colors in that book. There was, like, deep blue, yellow, green, and they all meant different things.
Color symbology. I'm sure there's a word for that other than color symbology. But anyways, so symbology has always, like, confused me, because I really think it's relative. Like, obviously it's not relative to the person that wrote it. Like, the person that wrote it had a intention in writing, like, putting it there, but... whatever way you want to take it.
I think only the person who
wrote
it can say what it symbolizes. Everyone else, they're just...
It's an interpretation. This is wild. So the comment you just made about how he's coming out of the darkness and all you can see are the whites of his eyes and his teeth, is he running from the sunken place?
What is the sunken place?
It's like... I
know what it is in Get Out.
Okay.
But what does it symbolize in real life?
Oh, okay. Wait, let me read this. Gambino's stance prior to shooting the masked man early in the video is intended to resemble that of Jim Crow's caricature.
Mm-hmm.
Redbone has become associated with Jordan Peele's Get Out after the song was used in the Oscar-winning film's opening. Throughout the song, Gambino continuously tells us to stay woke. At the end of This Is America, he can be seen running from a tunnel of darkness, being chased by a variety of what seem to be non-black people, while Young Thug sings in the background. Many have theorized this is him running out of the sunken place of desensitization. Yeah, desensitized.
I see.
Which can be interpreted as the process of becoming woke. So, like, I think in Get Out, it's different. Like, in Get Out, obviously, it's like they're literally somewhere else so that someone can inhabit their consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a whole other discussion because you have to dive into the symbolism in Get Out. So that's a whole.
That's it.
Did you see that he's
coming out with a new? What's it called?
Something
Us.
What?
It's called like Us.
Really?
Hold on.
I didn't know there was a name to it.
Yeah, he tweeted it. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. I can't wait.
I didn't know that. Well, I didn't realize that Redbone was in Get Out, and there's that connection.
It's just called Us, and this is the image.
Cool.
That's all. I think that's all he released. He released A New Nightmare from the Mind of Academy Award winner Jordan Peele.
Do you think it will be from the perspective of those other two black people in Get Out?
I don't think it'll be related.
You don't think?
I think it'll be a whole new story.
New? Maybe it'll be...
It's coming out March of next year.
Oh, that's so exciting.
But I'm excited for that. Yeah. I don't know. You could, like, crack into all of the freaking symbolism.
I know. But that is cool. I didn't know that Redbone was in the beginning of Get Out. And then...
I don't know what that song is. I don't listen to a lot of rap, to be honest.
You would know it if you heard it. This is a really popular melody.
Is it the one that goes... So stay woke.
Yes.
Okay, I have heard it. You're welcome for my my beautiful singing. Yeah, but there's just so much that you can go into. Like, honestly, just Google symbolism in This Is America. Ooh, I didn't see this one. A Deadly Crossroads. The crux of Gambino's This Is America video lies on the juxtaposition between the typically... Oh, never mind. It was just a non-literal way of saying, like, the difference between how happy the dancing people are in the front.
I see.
And between the back. Although Gambino directly name checks Kodak Black on the song's second verse, he also embeds what seems to be a reference to a recent police shooting of Stephen Clark, an unarmed black man.
Was that the one who was shot multiple times? Like 20 times or something like that? He was unarmed. He was holding a stick or something, I think.
Yeah. So the part where he's saying, "This is a celly, ha, that's a tool, yeah, on my Kodak," whatever. Do you remember that part in the song? It says this line may be referencing the March 18th, 2018 shooting of Stephen Clark, a black man who was shot 8 times in the back and killed in the backyard of his home in Sacramento, California.
Okay, so not
he was like holding a phone, and they thought it was.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't know why I thought it was like 20 times, but still 8 times.
It's just like he crammed so much stuff into one piece of art.
I saw a tweet that said Donald Glover is doing what Kanye thinks he's doing.
Which I saw a bunch of stuff like that. That's like what someone with a platform this large should be doing with it and what they shouldn't. And it's like, I also read something that's like, you shouldn't pit them against each other. Yeah. Like, it's not a him versus... You shouldn't say, like, Donald Glover's doing what Kanye can't. You should just be like, Donald Glover is doing... Childish Gambino is doing amazing job at using his platform to, like, bring attention to these issues. And there are lots of people out there who think that artists and celebrities shouldn't use their platform for stuff like that. But they're people, too. Like, they have opinions and that kind of stuff. And if they have strong opinions, they might want to use it to express them. But you guys should all look up that. There's a lot more symbolism involved in it, and there's no conspiracy surrounding it, but it's just something interesting to look into. Do you watch any of the Star Wars movies?
No.
Well, he's in the new one that's coming out, so Donald Glover is.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's when I first looked it up, because this song came out, and it was like Childish Gambino came out with a new song. They showed a picture of him, and I'm like, that looks like the guy from the new Solo trailer. It's the same person.
It is?
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's Donald Glover in that movie.
Something else that I just thought of that's relevant. We have some time.
Talk
about it.
Go for it.
The Met Ball.
Oh.
And the theme. Did you see all of the
When I
outfits?
first heard about the theme, I was like, I feel like that could be potentially problematic.
And it was to some people.
Yeah,
so,
like, obviously, like, I didn't take personal offense to it. I'm not Catholic, but, like...
Neither am I, but...
How... I know it's not... I don't know if it could be considered a culture.
Yes.
Catholicism is a culture, so it's technically cultural appropriation.
I
Some
did
interpretations.
see something about that. It's very touchy, and I have my own opinions about...
I think the point is that it's supposed to be, like, there's been a lot of influence in the fashion industry from Catholicism.
Yeah. I didn't think that the theme itself was offensive or anything. I can see some of the ways that people... And I can't think of any examples. I didn't see anyone twisting the symbolism.
There was a couple that were quite literally dressed like cardinals.
Rihanna?
No, she was dressed like the Pope. She killed it, though.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. No, I can't remember who it was. What's her name? Amber? No. She's a girl that dated Kristen Stewart. She has short hair and tattoos.
Ruby Rose?
Yes.
She dated Kristen Stewart?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
She, well, it was either Kristen Stewart or Miley Cyrus when she went through her, like, bisexual phase. One of them. And I say phase because I don't really, like, I'm not one to say, like, you go through a phase where you think...
Right.
No, I don't think that at all, but I think she just, like, went wild for a little bit.
Experimenting.
Yeah, experimenting. Anyways, she was, like, her outfit was, like, literal, and, like, it was pretty much a cardinal's outfit without sleeves. Like, the whole front was the same. I
think it's okay to take inspiration from the
religion,
church and religion and the outfits, but...
Because there's a lot of...
It's hard. It's like a fine line between respecting what they believe is sacred and holy, and taking it for...
Speaking of that...
What?
What's her name? The girl that's from 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, Frances...
I never saw that movie.
Hold on.
I know it won a ton of awards.
Her name is Frances McDormand. She's like... If you watch any of her, like, her Oscar acceptance speech, she's, like, very, she talks a lot, and she's, like, very outspoken, and she's a cool person. But, there's, like, a clip of her. I can't hear what someone says in the background, but her outfit was, like, this headpiece that looks like there's a bunch of butterflies, like, floating around her head. And all it is, like, you hear one of the reporters say something, and then she just whips around and she goes, "I'm pagan," or "I'm a pagan," or something like that. It was so funny. But
I didn't see her outfit. I don't remember seeing somebody with butterflies.
You should look it up. It's an interesting one.
I will.
But I think people always criticize that there are, like, not a lot of guys who do the theme. Chadwick Boseman killed it. He was definitely the best dressed. I think, what's his name? Jared Leto did it, but, like, I don't think he did it very well. Not to hate on designers. I don't know anything about fashion, but just as, like, an outsider's observation.
Is Chadwick Boseman
He's the one who plays the Black Panther.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah, he looked so good, but, there are some people who... like, have been outspoken about the fact that they're Christian and religious. Like, I'm pretty sure Selena Gomez is. And hers was, like, pretty understated. Like, she was wearing, like, angelic white, and she had, like, I'm pretty sure, like, a single cross. And
she's always understated, I feel like. I saw a tweet that had her past 3 Met Ball looks, and they were all very understated. Someone, I think the tweet said, I want her banned.